Hello everyone. I'm going to show you the energy patterns of September 25th and 26th. Let's look at the first slide I prepared for you. You can see a cardinal T-square involving Pluto in Capricorn, Eris in Aries, and Mercury in Libra. And this gives me a good occasion to speak about Eris, who was the demon of strife and discord in Greek mythology. Its Roman counterpart is Discordia. It's a very interesting little celestial object because sometime, I believe in 2003 or 4, something like that, NASA announced that they found the 10th planet of the solar system. This was Eris because it was bigger than Pluto, and of course, if Pluto is a planet, then anything bigger than that should be a planet as well. But then very soon, astronomers realized that the region where they found Eris can hold thousands more that are exactly the same size or even bigger than Eris. So it was much easier to demote Pluto and make it a dwarf planet. And this is how Eris got its name, because it did cause a lot of strife and discord among astronomers who discussed the potentials, what to do. So here you see two celestial objects. One was a planet for 76 years. The other one was a potential planet for about 2 years, and both got demoted and both got the title dwarf planet. Now, it doesn't actually cause us too much strife and discord if we consider the whole story, simply because there's a very interesting rule or important rule that if you name something, you give it a destiny. And that destiny is going to reflect back to whoever has this or that planet relevant in their birth chart. For some time, Pluto and Eris have been in a cardinal square. Most of this year's time, even if you work with very tight orbs like I do, they have been in a square, and they will be in a square for quite a while. Now, this is a very rare occasion if you consider that Pluto's orbital period is 250 years and Eris is about 560, close to 600 years. So whenever these two get together, what you see in the outside world is strife and discord, drastically altered outward circumstances, and the chance to transform things in a very, very profound way. Pluto in Capricorn has been just trying to do that, trying to get rid of rigid power structures. And Eris joining Pluto is, well, look around the world, is really, really flaming up tension everywhere. And what I see is really troubling, that people are pitted against each other, black against white, people who got the jab against those who don't want to get it, poor and rich. Any and every type of classes or belief systems are really pitted against each other, and people are constantly fighting. What is really scary that those forums like Facebook, sorry, I'm losing my voice. I have been teaching for the last 2 or 3 weekends full because some of my colleagues are out. One is fighting with a serious illness. The other one has small children and fighting with her life. And I as a solitary person, always chip in. So and as a result, I'm losing my voice. But anyhow, so this T-square is closed by Mercury, fast-moving Mercury in Libra. And Mercury in Libra propitiates balanced communication, deals, pacts, diplomacy. So it's a very peaceful addition to the very disruptive cardinal square, but still it is a T-square. at the apex of which is Pluto. So we might as well consider that this is going to be a difficult moment in time, unless we actually infuse some understanding, some intelligence, some sort of balanced communication. This is on the 25th, and it will still be within orb on the 25th, so that the 26th. And on the 26th, there's a complex planetary picture involving another T-square, actually it's a mutable T-square, but it's also called in karmic astrology as a karmic cage. Whenever the nodal axis gets a square from another planet or celestial object, this is called a karmic cage. Let me explain what it means. The south node is something that we bring in for this incarnation. It is our safety pack. It's our survival kit. The sign of the south node describes how you react whenever you are cornered or threatened. And the house placement of the south node is a sphere of life, or an area of life where you feel nice, secure. You know how to conduct yourself there. You know what to do about it. Very often, if you look at teenagers and you ask them, you know, what they want to be, what they want to do for a life living, for a profession, they very often answer according to the south node placement. So those who have, for instance, in the 9th, say that they want to be teachers or they want to be diplomat. Those who have it in the 3rd, they want to deal either with children or with communication or become a journalist or something like that. Anyhow, the north node, on the other hand, is what you have chosen for this life, for this incarnation. You would like to do it. You would like to explore it. And the funny part is that you don't really come to do it until later in life. Usually for the first part of your life, or first half of your life, you react according to your south node, because it's nice, it is easy, it is something that you don't even have to think about. It comes naturally to you. Whereas the north node is something that may be difficult, may be strange. You might have problems with even exploring it, let alone really using it. But sooner or later, there comes a moment in time when you are suddenly pushed towards your north node, towards your destiny choices, and you realize that you are simply bored, for instance, by the south node placement, especially the house placement, and you adopt the challenges of the north node. And whenever you have a planet at the bending, it's called at the bending, T-squaring, exactly T-squaring both. And when I say exactly, I give it a 1.5 degree orb maximum. So please try to stick to this if you want to do karmic astrology, because we have so many planets and so many celestial objects to deal with that we really have to narrow down our orbs. And this is why it's important to look at the really, really tight structures. Those will be the most important ones. And the wider structures are simply what I call suspended karma, something that you may try to explore. If you concentrate on the really tight aspects and configurations in a chart, you will get the full story, even though you might have other side stories with the tighter orbs. In this case, we have trans-Pluto at the bending, and trans-Pluto is the karmic ruler for Libra. And it is an archetype that is linked to dimension jump, to channeling, and to mediation. So she's a diplomat. She's also someone who is willing to stay in two very different worlds, because the story of Persephone is linked to trans-Pluto. Actually, there are two wife archetypes linked to Trans-Pluto. One is Persephone, the bride of Hades, and the other one is Isis, Osiris's wife. And both are very unique, independent archetypes, but committed to their husbands. And that's the key, to be committed, to be fully committed and do what's proper, what's right in a relationship, but at the same time, retain their freedom and retain their free movement. So that is describing Trans-Pluto. And the reason why we can't give her the name Persephone or Isis is because there are such asteroids already. So we won't be able to name this little thing after those two goddesses of mythology. Anyhow, so this is our main astrological feature on the 26th, and the two luminaries are actually chipping in. I put here Black Moon Lilith as well, because later on it will become one of the main protagonists in another configuration. This is about noontime, maybe 11 o'clock, around 11 o'clock London time. The sun is exactly trining the moon North Node conjunction, dissolving the tension of the mutable T-square, the mutable karmic cage. There's another configuration forming by asteroid Lilith, which is retrograding in Aries, Thor's hammer with a mutable square and two sesquiquadrates, which is dissolved by a very interesting structure of 30 degrees. You can see Trans-Pluto, the sun, Vesta, the focusing principle. So the whole tension is broken up by the two luminaries, which is always insight and illumination, and also understanding stuff, both on a psychic and on a conscious level, the sun. Vesta is always a focusing principle, so it gives you an edged focus. And Trans-Pluto gives you the potential to dimension jump, to experience dimension jump, or to experience channeling. Understanding is the key in this structure. And then later on, as I promised you, we're going to have another celestial phenomenon still on the 26th of September, involving Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, Mars in Libra, and by the evening, the moon will be conjunct the Black Moon Lilith in Gemini. So these four celestial objects are forming an air Grand Trine. Now, by definition, Grand Trines are very beneficial, harmonious structures. There's one rub, they don't have any energy. They don't contain energy. And out of the four potential elements, the most practical one that you can actually utilize is the Earth Grand Trine. The second best one is the Air Grand Trine, and the least you can actually utilize when it's in water signs. It just gives you a flood of emotions, but it doesn't strengthen you in any way, or it doesn't really manifest in any practical ways. This one may manifest in practical ways, especially if you have 6th or 7th degree prominent in air or fire signs, that you can utilize this brilliantly. Mars is, of course, the planet of will. Saturn is backing it up. Usually Mars-Saturn aspects are about impotence, about the inability to act. But in this case, this is a trine, and actually Saturn is retrograding. So Saturn is kind of backing up Mars, but at the same time in a nice way, not hindering its, not obstructing its power. And the Saturn Moon Saturn Moon aspects are usually about depression. If it's a negative aspect, even if it's a flowing aspect, if you have a Saturn Moon in your chart, for the first 20, 30 years, you may be prone to depression, or at least dark mood, or at least brooding. even if you have it in a sextile. With the trine, hopefully you won't have it, but at the same time, what do we have to learn, or what can we learn by Saturn moon? Strengthen your soul, okay? Give your soul a backup, a backbone, so to speak. And then the black moon Lilith comes into the picture, providing the will to go into situations which need courage, stamina, protection, doing the right thing. That's very important because actually Black Moon Lilith is the manifestation of the third point of the Lilith myth, where Lilith goes back into the Garden of Eden to teach Eve of the feminine ways, to give her the strength and power, to give her a soul, because in the biblical story, Lilith was a true creation, just like Adam. Lilith is Adam's first wife, and then when she leaves the Garden of Eden, then Yahweh manufactures another woman out of Adam's rib, and she becomes Eve. But she doesn't get a soul from Yahweh, so she needs the soul particle, and this is why Lilith goes back into the Garden of Eden in the form of a serpent. I'm really sorry that you don't speak Hungarian, because the whole story can be understood in Hungarian, actually. Too bad. I do have a video with the same placements in Hungarian, so those who do speak Hungarian may go there and watch that portion. It's really very, very hard to explain in English, because you need to hear the words. But just to give you a little piece, okay, for understanding, because it's actually Latin is also involved in it. What does the serpent give to Eve? An apple, okay? Apple in Hungarian is alma. And what does alma mean in Latin? Soul. So here you have a very strong metaphor that the reason why the serpent went back to the Garden of Eden was to empower Eve with a soul, so that she can be an equal. Today, I mean, on the 22nd or 26th, we will have this structure, and the moon is giving it an extra enlightenment, an extra power and strength from the inner side, so to speak. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will be able to utilize these structures, and I wish you good luck with it. Bye-bye.